What's up, everybody? Moses here, bringing another Path of Exile video. I can talk about this character so much. I can tell you so many stories about it, but then we'll have a 30-minute video. And I try to cut it to minimum. So let's just talk about this because this is a very exceptional character and I can seriously go off about it for a long time. I very much enjoy it. I will tell you that for the first time ever, I was able to kill Minotaur as the first map on the Atlas. This character killed at level 81 before Uberlab. I killed Minotaur before Merciless and Uberlab. Basically, I finished the story, I killed Kitava, managed my resistances, and the first map on the Atlas was Minotaur. So, very, very strong, single target, very strong clear. This is a very, very good character. The idea here is using Scourge Arrow. This is a new skill introduced that allows us to basically get 150% more damage with hits and elements per stage. It's extremely strong. More damage is pretty huge, and it will convert 60% of the physical to chaos, which we don't really care about. The way that I approach this build is not about the whole chaos damage or, you know, that type of scaling. It's using Doomfletch bow to scale our physical damage as high as we possibly can, adding a lot of flat Phys sources, so that we gain 100% of physical as extra damage of each element, which is cold, fire, and lightning. So essentially we're getting a total of 300% of our physical as extra random element, or as extra of all of our elements, fire, cold, and lightning. Okay, so that's how we try and scale this build, which means we want a whole lot of flat physical damage to attacks everywhere you can get them. So the choice of Mark of the Elder that gives us a steel ring, 4/14 flat Phys to attacks was pretty natural, along with if your other ring is shaper item, you're getting 80% increased attack damage. So our other ring is a steel ring, shaper ring, which gives us flat Phys, tier 1 flat Phys, some life, some resist, and some elemental damage with attacks. On the amulet, we're stacking a lot of flat Phys, crit multi, this is a crit build, some life, and I was able to corrupt hatred, has increased aura effect. We are using hatred as our mana reservation. It gives us physical as extra cold. More flat Phys is coming from a broadhead arrow quiver that has flat Phys damage to bow attacks as a base. I got one, I believe it was like 2 exalts. Elemental damage with attacks, crit chance, crit multi, life, resist. Can't get much better for a build like this. The jewels, abyssal jewels coming in. We have a murderous eye jewel with Phys damage to attacks and you know, life resists. Over here, this gives us the intimidate bonus from murderous eye jewel, and over here we got physical damage to attacks, physical damage to bows, some life, some resist. Same idea over here, some fire damage to attacks here, but big life, big damage to bows, physical damage to bows, cold and lightning. That's pretty much the idea. Here we got some Phys damage to attack, some crit chance, some life. Not the best jewel. Maybe we'll craft something better later on. But here we got Phys damage to bows, Phys damage to attacks, and some life. Increased effective shock is kind of irrelevant, although we do shock, we do crit, and we do have some lightning, so I guess it's kind of okay. But that's not what the build revolves around. Mostly just huge, as much as we can, stacking flat physical damage to bows, flat physical damage to attacks, and then scaling with the Doomfletch. That's basically the idea. When it comes to the gear, we are using the Tomb Fist as mentioned. Over here, the Boots enchantment, I managed to get the best one for the first time. LA damage penetration in like I don't know how many leagues since I got this enchant. It's a very, very rare enchant. Of course, attack and cast speed if you've crit recently. If you killed recently. Increased attack and cast speed if you killed recently would be the best one for clearing. For single target, this would be amazing. Damage penetrates 10% Elirez if you haven't killed recently when you're killing bosses. This is extremely strong. enchant. These boots just life resist, movement speed, and exactly the resist that I need to be able to triple balance my Wise Oak. I got perfect 80 all resist, which is kind of entertaining, also kind of happening for the first time. The belt was crafted with jagged, pristine, and prismatic jewel. Prismatic gave a huge elemental damage. Jagged fossil gave huge physical damage, and I managed to roll a tier 1 elemental damage with attacks here. This jewel is like pretty ridiculous. The only unfortunate part is that life rolled pretty low, cold resist pretty low, but mostly the life, because you can get a lot of life out of the belt like this, but we didn't get it, which is fine, because this character is kind of meant to be a glass cannon. We are level 82, and there's an entire sound life wheel that we're just about to pick up. So there is that. But I mean, this bow is kind of bonkers. There's nothing even remotely close to that on PoE trade. Jagged, pristine, and prismatic. I spent a lot of exalts buying a lot of fossils. All the jewels that you see here, self-crafted, pretty much. All the you know, abyssal jewels I crafted on my own. So this is probably the best one. Really, really, really good. Tier 1 flat to bows, tier 2 flat to attack, some life. It's pretty much all you're looking for in jewels like these. Other generic jewels that I bought were these ones that didn't craft. These ones I just want to stack a lot of attack speed because it makes a huge difference for how many stacks of Scourge Arrow, how quick can we get them. So here got some attack speed, attacks with bows, crit multi, and I slammed mono regen rip. Here we got some attacks with bows, attack speed, global crit multi, and 16 Phys damage to bows, which is what I slammed, which was insane. I bought both of these from the same guy for 40 chaos. The next ones after that with you know, open affixes were about 1 exalt. So I got mine pretty cheap. They were standing there for quite a bit of time for some reason, weirdly enough. But yeah, attack speed, attacks with bows. These were the jewels that I got here just to be able to get some more attack speed, and the rest is just self-crafted abyssal jewels. Yeah, so that's going over the gear. I believe I showed everything. Oh, and I did buy a helmet enchant on an armor helmet. It was basically the cheapest rare helmet. I knew I needed a lot of resists, so I knew I needed to chaos spam this, and I did. It rolled 1 prefix, life, and triple resist, 2 tier 1s, and 1 tier 4. So this is an extremely, extremely strong helmet, and I was able to get it, which feels pretty good, man. It allowed me basically to have more free reign when it comes to resistances on the rest of the gear. I crafted the increased elemental damage with attack skills, and I exalted slam hybrid life roll over here. So that's when it comes to the gear, pretty much. Lore Weave was a natural choice. Lore Weave allows us to, well, flat Phys, max resistance are 80, elemental and crit chance and life. Can't ask for a better thing on any chest, pretty much. The amulet, did I talk about it? I don't know. Flat Phys, crit multi, life resist, and I evolved hatred has increased aura effect. This is extremely strong. This character is very strong. Like I was able to get pretty lucky with some of those pieces, especially this, you know, the amulet, this. I was able to get exactly what I needed on the helmet, on the, you know, quiver, exactly from PoE trade. Except the only thing, I did slam that tier 1 fire damage to attacks. The only thing that would be better is if I got, you know, or tiers, whatever, tier crap fire damage to attacks. The only thing that would be better is if I got, you know, flat physical on the slam. But yeah, so the gear is pretty good. Let's go over the links. We have Scourge Arrow linked with faster attacks, Mirage Archer, increased critical strikes, elemental damage with attacks, and vicious projectiles. On the helmet I got my movement skill, faster attacks, and blink arrow, as well as a blood rage, Stone Golem is just here. I was using it for leveling and for lab, just hanging around. We'll probably kick it, put something else instead. Herald of Purity and Hatred. Herald of Purity adds minions to the build, but we don't care about them. We only care about the 25 to 37 physical damage to attacks. That gives us a huge bonus damage to our Doomfletch, because it adds straight to that and then makes the bow a whole lot stronger. All the flat Phys just makes a huge difference. So as much as you can stack, obviously Herald of Purity was a good choice. Minions are kind of annoying. I wish you could turn them off, but you know, it is what it is. Hatred Phys is extra cold. The body armor, essentially, it's a 4-link that you guys already know: cast on damage taken, increased duration, Immortal Call, and Enfeeble. And then I have Val Grace and Phase Run. But I was able to 6-link it quite easily, and I even slammed the Val Orb, and I got reduced crit damage, essentially 50% reduced extra damage from crits. Kind of nice. So this is the body armor we're using. What the 6-link actually gives us, which is really kind of not relevant at all, but it is 6-link, so I mean, I wanted 5-link, never mind. Anyway, so what it actually gives us, you, by all means, you don't have to get a 6-link. The first 6-link is just fine on the bow, but what it gives us is allowing the increased duration to affect both our Val Grace and our Phase Run. That's it. Okay, so I mean, don't worry. All you need here is that 4-link of, you know, Immortal Call, cast on damage take, increased duration with Enfeeble, and again, I was able to get the Val Grace and Phase Run to link over here as well. But you, by all means, don't need. You can easily do Grace, you know, Phase Run with another increased duration instead of this Summon Stone Golem, and have like Blink Arrow faster attacks and Blood Raid somewhere over here on the chest or whatever. Find a room for those, even if it's not linked. Okay, so yeah, if you're considering falling, you definitely don't need it. I just kind of got lucky there, so yeah, pretty convenient thing to use. 4-link utility chain, Orb of Storms is how we generate our power charges. This is a crit build. We do want our power charges, so Orb of Storms, whenever that crit, we have power charge on crit here. Chain will spread the beams of Orb of Storms, and Blind will act as a layer of defense, blinding our enemies. Alternatively, you could use Calling Strike for Chain if you're you know, killing a single target. So Calling Strike will make sure that at 10% or less, the whatever you're fighting, the Orb of Storms will one-shot it. For the Ascendency, I simply love the DeadEye. It's, in my opinion, the best class for any bow character, and gathering winds that gives us the tailwind is actually very, very strong. It stacks for each one of our skills, and we're using, you know, Blood Rage is an instantly active skill, right? So we can use that. We can use Phase Run, all these type of skills, and of course, you know, Blink Arrows. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 skills that we're constantly using and rotating between, and like, you know, 1, 2, 3 are pretty much instant cast. Orb of Storm is really quick to just drop on the ground and go. So a lot of the times we're affected by several skills, which gives us a huge 50% like more speed, which is movement speed, and attack speed for our character. Makes us 10% faster. Very, very huge. Of course, alongside with the rest of the speed buffs that we have, like Frenzies and, you know, Onslaught, stuff like that, makes the character feels like absolutely amazing. Fast and Deadly, like, this is a huge node for the Blink Arrow cooldown recovery speed. Very, very huge. So this definitely made my decision very easy for choosing an Ascendency and for choosing a class, because you could alternatively go Scion. I don't like it. I just don't think that Scion is particularly good for a bow character. You can make it work, you can make anything work in Path of Exile, but this is just huge powerhouse for any bow character. I'll take that over any Ascendency, essentially. any day of the week. So these are huge. Rapture and powerful precision provide piercing and extra crit chance, crit multi for targets that are bleeding. So, and a little bit of life. So with so many projectiles that are constantly being thrown around everywhere, I felt like these two Ascendency nodes are going to be very good and very useful for the build. And I believe that's pretty much it. Flasks. We got a Seething of Staunching Life Flask, Chemist Silver of Heat. Make sure that it has high reduced charges used, so you can have two uses of this rather than just one. Chemist is what you want here. I believe 24-25% will allow you to have 30 of 60 charges on use for the Onslaught buff. Serious Promise, physical and elemental, is extra chaos damage, as well as our only form of chaos resist currently. Wise Oak, triple balanced for all elemental damage penetration and 10% elemental damage reduction, and Diamond Flask of warding for curse removal, and we are crit build. I am not using a Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline, and let's see how that plays. Basically rotating between Wise Oak and these two. And again, I just I have a Colonnade with a Shaper Stronghold, so we're gonna do that. So yeah, I mean, I just right now basically got into temp chains. It's gonna be a bit annoying, but sure. Let's go. Let's run it with Beyond. So yeah, I just basically now got into maps, finished crafting this character, and
a moment of your time.
You see how it works. I mean, the character is like pretty ridiculous, and again, I'm not using a move speed flask here, so there it is. So yeah, I mean, I just like right now got into mapping, and the damage of this thing is really ridiculous. I got into mapping and I killed Minotaur as my first map. I was just kind of like, let's give it a shot. It was a Beyond map, and I did die to a random volatile while killing, while talking to chat. I wasn't paying attention. There was a volatile that killed me there. But yeah, this is it. Even without an adrenaline flask, the character is very, very fast, and yeah, like this is a temp chain map, so
these worlds are not yours.
Shaper doing his thing. That's it. Basically, just kind of one shot. I mean, sure, this is a tier 11 boss, but that's basically how it felt. With just you know, on the Minotaur with, what did I have there? Vulnerability and Feeble. It was double curses also. No temp chains. And yeah, I ran out of flasks and then just shot him, moved around. Felt pretty good. Anyway, so this is the character. It is extremely strong. Okay, so deal with care when you're playing this character, because it may just implode your screen. It is very, very strong. Strongly recommended. First time I'm doing a Doomfletch. I believe I talked about everything there is to know about this character, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe we'll have, like most definitely we'll have like a Shaper kill, maybe an Uber Elder kill if I'm good enough to not die to it, but obviously the damage is definitely there. A tree will be provided for you guys, and potentially I may remove these nodes right here and get these and all the claw and get Leonite's Fall Jewel. That will give us all the leech and some extra crit multi, potentially, but I don't know if that's particularly efficient, and I'm more eager to pick up the life nodes over here right now. Potentially also we could get into 18% increased attack speed over here, and just remove the faster attacks gems, and use Chance to Bleed as an alternative over here instead. So there's some changes I might be doing, and of course we're going to get all that crit over here later on. Character's only level 82, realistically 13 more skill points roughly level 95, I believe. It's going to be very, very feasible and achievable for us. And that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll leave a link to the stream, of course. Make sure to follow the stream. I'm streaming every day. I've been grinding. This December we're going to celebrate 6 years of streaming and YouTube content creating, so that's kind of awesome. You guys are more invited to join our slowly but surely growing community on Twitch, Path of Exile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.